All right, all right, all right, all right. It's time to hear you, listen to you. Any questions, any answers? I'm open to. Put that candy over there somewhere out of the way. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely evening in which the Most High God has made. And I, Sister Deborah, share. And I will rest therein. I was outside taking care of some business, doing some cleaning, and I said, let me get in here at 7 p.m. Central and do a live. And then I said, it's so much I could talk about, but wait a minute, maybe it's time to listen. We know that there is a time to speak and there's a time to keep quiet. In a sense, a time to hear. So Sister Deborah is making that available to any and everybody that would like to have something to say or got something to say or want to ask a question, or guess what? You might even have the answer. I'm open. Okay. Um, I was saying in a prior video of the things that the Father was revealing unto me, and I realized the power in knowledge in the day, which is the day in which we are in today, how knowledge is something we must and we should work really hard on embracing knowledge, especially when the Most High God is dealing with us from within. We need to embrace knowledge. And when we receive knowledge, first and foremost, you got to be able to dissect the knowledge that you receive. You have to embrace it and dissect it in the spirit and then in the flesh. Trying to dissect the knowledge that is being poured out to individuals and trying to wrap it around your understanding in the flesh, you ain't gonna get it. You won't make it. So I think that knowledge in the last days have increased, but I think people are trying to take the knowledge in which they are receiving and trying to wrap it around a worldly sense, or a fleshly, or placing it in darkness and trying to get understanding in the light. So I say unto you, it is so important that we look forward to embracing knowledge first and foremost in the spirit realm. And when I hear brothers that's not catering to the Israelites' mindset, or the Hebrew Israelites, or the Negroes who said they're the Jews, I noticed that they seem to understand this spirit realm of understanding, and that throws it threw Sister Deborah off. But then it goes back to what the Father has said to me over and over: is who I give the ear to hear, okay, and the eye to see. Same way with understanding. It's not something that we give ourselves. It's something that the Holy Spirit gives unto others so they can be able to see and move about this this day. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. So I think this knowledge has been poured out in such an awesome way. But I think there's a big thing about this knowledge, because I think people are gripping more of fleshly knowledge over spiritual knowledge. And honestly, You won't survive under the fleshly knowledge. You're going to have stress, depression. You're going to have turmoil and sleepless nights. You're going to have all those things to attack your flesh body, trying to take on the knowledge that's in the world today. That's why it's so important to have a connection with the Ruach HaKodesh, to where he can teach you the knowledge that he's actually pouring out at this day, in this day. Oh yeah, there's some knowledge poured out unto us, because I know I received a power punch, 3 power punch last night. I mean, all it did was clam on top of what I had already been given, but it was like he was giving me an extra portion. And I said, Father, so that goes back to when I always say, and what you say to me all the time, go back to Genesis, Deborah 1 and 2, because that's where he took me with, was it, which one? Matter of fact, the 2 of the power punch yesterday, last night is when he gave me that I would say is knowledge. And it was in the spiritual realm first and foremost, so that I could be able to adjust to what the biblical was saying. He's shown it to me in the spirit realm. And I'd say to each and every last one of you, until we are able to see in the spirit realm, we're going to be lost without a cause in the flesh realm. Oh, yeah. And a lot of people, like I say, right about now, it's about people enjoying, and it's nothing wrong with enjoying life, okay? Because I was out today and just earlier today, and I really enjoy the fall season. I really do. And I know that this is not a day in which we just buckle up and leave it in the darkness and let it beat up on us, or put us in a black box where we are afraid and frightened of what the Father has prophesied millions of years ago. You say, I'm exaggerating when I say millions of years ago, but a long time ago. So just because it is upon us now, it doesn't mean that we should buckle up or be afraid or feel that, or I don't want to know what is to come, or because you're not going to really escape it, because it's coming. Let me stop. I need to stop saying it's coming. I mean, it's already present. Okay. So I saw a clip today about a newsletter. I think it's called, you all have seen it's a magazine. I think it's called Newsletter. And they had Obama with 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, probably 6 arms. But first is his first 2 arms, and then it was I think 2 more arms, and then there was 2 more arms behind it, giving him a 6 arms. Notice the number 6. And with all the arms, they held something in the hand. One had a globe, one had houses. Everything had something in the hand of each arm, but he had 6 arms. See, this is what bothers me very, very, very much. I don't know if you all have ever seen Newsletter. It's a known magazine, and it covers news around the world. Okay, so to have Obama with 6 arms, and each arm had a hand, and each hand had something that represent global control and power. It had everything in each hand. Okay, so that to me, if this is what bothers me, if Satan can send out signs before us and reveal to us right before our face and our eyes, what is it that is going on where people can't see what the Father is prophesying and have said and continuing to say. But they can see what it's okay to see Obama with six, like 666 arms. We know that he don't have 6 arms. So why are you all putting him in a magazine with 6 arms? They know exactly what they're doing. They know what they said, and they are embracing it 100 times 100. They are embracing exactly what they're trying. No, they ain't trying. They're actually saying. And I noticed that about the DAY. And the DAY is given unto the wicked and evil for a time as this. And they plan it for all it's worth. They're not messing around, or they're not hiding or trying to cover up. They just putting it right out. And I don't blame them. The reason why I don't blame them, if the Father created this time for you to do even wicked, go for what you know. It's still in the hands of my Father. He still controls it all. Okay, if you in the live chat, if you have any questions, or you might even have answers, shoot them out. Okay, but this is something I see and I'm beholding a lot of, and that is wicked and evil, and even wicked don't have any problem telling you what they're going to do, showing you what they're going to do, and controlling things that already belong to you that don't belong to them. They are already in control. Okay, so it's just amazing to me that you sit and you be around 10, 20, 30 million people, and no one is able to see what is right before them. You don't hear, because I believe also everybody is talking about what they shouldn't be talking about. That's really what the issue is. They have totally got everybody focused elsewhere. That's another problem. Everybody's focus is all over the place. And what they need to be focused on, they're not concerned. It's not even moving them. They are not concerned. So I say unto you, if the Father can come to his prophetess and reveal knowledge to me, I believe that he can reveal it to others. I know he can. And I believe that because he's doing it in this DAY, I think he's doing it not just only to Sister Deborah, but to many others. And all I'm saying to you is catch that thing, embrace that thing, feel that thing. And what am I talking about? The Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. Don't estimate when he's talking to you from the inside and he's informing you of things you ain't never heard, you ain't never seen, or you don't understand. Accept it. Because where we're at today, we're going to need all of that to remain here in this land until he take us out. So it ain't like he said, okay, when it get too hard for you, I'm coming to get you. No. There's some things Sister Deborah going to see. And what do I mean see? I've seen it in the spirit. I got to see it in the flesh. And I think that's more so where my energy, as far as the way I talk, my boldness, I don't care, about what nobody have to say, think, or feel. I'm just out there. And I think that's where that come from, is because I can see the spiritual realm of things and how he is orchestrating things to come to pass this DAY. Okay, so I call it DAY because I believe it is a DAY that is prophesied and created for evil and wicked and evil, Satan and his. There's many things that he have already said, and he continued to say about things that's going to come to pass and things that's happening. But I think it's still a good thing to see wicked and evil reveal their work to the whole world. They're revealing all their work right before us. Even though the Father has already made sure it was prophesied ahead of time, Then here they come up revealing everything. And this also support what the Father keep reminding me of. Deborah, ain't nothing hidden. Ain't nothing hidden. Everything is plainly seen. And I truly believe that, because from what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing in the spiritual realm, and then when I go into the natural realm, I'm like saying, there it is, plainly seen with the natural eyes. Like I was telling you about Obama. Newsletter, magazine, 6 arms represent 666. That's really what that 6 is about, having 6 arms. Why didn't you give them 4? Why didn't you give them 8? Okay, because you're making a statement. We're about to do these things. And he had in his hand, they were all in his hand. Each issue was in his hand. And the first one was a globe. It was in his hand. You see what I'm saying? In one of his hands. So all these things, housing, a house was in his hand. It's just, it had 6 hands because he had 6 arms. And it's just a sight to see, to have that on a magazine. What is you're actually telling the whole world, not even the United States. They're telling the whole world, look what we're about to do. And we don't want the servants of the Most High Yah to say anything to us regarding light and information that's being poured out unto us in light and in spirit and truth. We don't want nothing to be said. People are so caught up into their flesh. They can't even see that it's all about their emotions, their feelings, and their flesh. Outside of that, guess what? That is one of the biggest addiction to have, is where feelings and emotions and flesh get caught up in any and everything. Guess why? Your worst enemy is because of your feelings and your emotions. That's why you are your worst enemy, due to your feelings and your emotions. That's why you're your worst enemy. And that's why your enemy, you yourself, is against you before anybody else is. And that even telling you, we need to search ourselves. Because if we are our own worst enemy, then who can be an enemy greater than ourselves? But we bypass ourselves because we think our flesh really love on us and care for us and want the best. Your flesh never, ever, ever want to see the best for you. You know why? The best for it is to go back into the ground, the earth, the dust in which it came. That's the best for the flesh. So it's not caught up in all these other things that you think that makes you not your own worst enemy. You would have to be, because your flesh don't care about nothing about you. And I don't know if any of you all have experienced that. My youngest daughter was telling me she had experienced that, where her spirit was telling her that her flesh mean her no good. And it was telling her that your flesh don't mean you no good. Your flesh want the worst for you. It don't want the best for you. So don't do this. Don't say this. Stop this. Stop that. And she said she knew it was God that was speaking to her through her spirit, because only he himself knew. And that's where she says she learned that her enemy was her own self, which is your flesh. Let me tell you how thick and potent your flesh is to your eternal destiny. Your flesh will work 100% against your spirit and do every desire, every want, everything it wants and its desire to go up against your spirit man. Your spirit being wants the things which is righteous, but your flesh don't want nothing. Don't want you to want nothing. So a lot of you all don't understand. That's why your flesh is your worst enemy, because it's coming to attack the part of you that's going to stand before the judgment seat. Yes. Yeah, I know mine is too. I know for that. I know for sure. My flesh is definitely my worst enemy. Because see, it's my worst enemy because it really don't like the idea that my flesh has it under subjection. It don't like that. It's trying to rule over my spirit. So when judgment time come, it's thinking this is what people don't know. How he's going to measure you is based on how he got you locked already in the book or the books. He got you locked in with your works and who you are. Okay? Your eternal destiny. And this is what the flesh do. I know where I'm spending eternal, to the grave, to the ground, and never to rise again. Your flesh job is to see to it that your spirit goes nowhere near anything outside of where it is going. Because a lot of people did not know. Let me explain something to y'all. The Father says that the earth is going to be tossed in the lake of fire. So now that means your flesh that goes to the dirt, even it is going to the lake of fire. Do you see why your flesh don't want nothing good for you? Because its destiny is to go to the dust to the ground. And then when Yah is done with all things in judgment, he said he's taking the earth and tossing it into the lake of fire. That's in Romans chapter 20. I'm not Romans, Revelation chapter 20. So even the flesh knows that it stands not a chance, not even in the dust. And after the dust has set or is settled for years and years, if it be that long, that it's going also to the lake of fire. See, y'all didn't know that, did you? But yes. So the graves in which you see an individual buried in, God, Yah is taking it and putting it in the lake of fire. So you see how your flesh knows what's what? That's why I don't care about your spirit. Because your spirit is not going to spend eternal where it is going to return. You see that? So it's going to return even not to the dirt only, into the dust, but it's going to the lake of fire as well. So that's why I don't want any good for you. It don't want you no good for you. And this is what people fight up against in this day and time. They don't know how to get their flesh under the subjection to their spirit. You know why? The spirit is always willing to do good things for you, to you. It's willing to communicate with you in a better way. It's even, okay, say for instance, if you do something and you know it's going to be on your conscience, your spirit will tell you, don't do that. Because if you do that, then you ain't gonna have no sleep. If you do that, it'll come back on you. That's how your spirit is. Your spirit is what checks you. It is what feels right, the right things. And when the wrong things are doing wrong, which is your flesh, your spirit be checking it. But when you live out your life according to your flesh in the ways of your flesh, then your spirit is already assigned to the lake of fire. You got to understand, your spirit has to be able to get your flesh under subjection and be able to live out life with the ruach in you, leading and guiding your spirit, not your flesh ruling the Father and your spirit. You see the difference? How do you expect the Most High to come and abide in you if you letting your flesh have dominion over your spirit? The spirit of you, who God come in and abide and sleep and stay in, and you become one in Him and Him in you. That's that same spirit the Most High come in. It's your spirit, but your flesh, it don't want that for you. So a lot of times it's the one that tells you how to do right. It also tell you, don't do that. Do this. Have you thought about this? I know you all have seen many, many movies where they say, shalom, shalom, where they say a devil's on one shoulder and another angel's on another one, and the devil's on another part of your shoulder. That's dealing with flesh and spirit. And this, when they begin to put soul in between that keep people from knowing the power of your spirit. I'm sorry, but that's the truth, baby. Because it makes the soul be so important and give the soul so much power and authority and so much know-how and no. When you're dealing in this old life, you deal with flesh and you deal with spirit. Once you're able to deal with flesh and spirit, you'll be okay. But once you put that middleman in there and try to justify that there's a middleman also, then that's what's going to screw you up and screw you out. Because the Father says you can't worship him in your flesh. So where do I worship you in, Father? The spirit that I blew in you when you received the breath of life, it came with a spirit. I abide in your spirit. I don't come to abide in your flesh. I abide in your spirit. But if you're saying soul cannot have dominion once you have gotten your flesh under the subjection to your spirit. It can't pull and be controlled. But it ain't mean nobody's perfect. Yeah, let me tell y'all something. Nobody on this earth is perfect. Okay? Nobody. Sister Deborah, nobody on this earth knows anything. And like I explained to you all throughout time. Sister Deborah, give or take, I say about 20%. Out of 100, give or take about 20%. But the only thing about the 20%, I can assure you that's pretty much all I know. But you catch me on the other side, where spirit and truth, you're gonna get blown off the map. Because that's where I come down in to run a journey, to travel. Okay? So therefore, he's not going to send me here and not give me the tools to use while I'm here. And just send me on down. See, it's okay for you to have the tools. It's okay for you to have what the Most High Yah wants you to have. A lot of people don't want you to have anything because they want you to just think it's just between you in your flesh and God in the spirit. No, you got a spirit. A lot of times, when you know how where it says, and you're going to be changed at a twinkling of an eye, because this fleshly body is not going to be allowed to enter into the kingdom. And people in their graves, guess what? People don't even understand that even in the oceans, why the ocean's going to have to give it its dead. Because people don't understand. When people die, their spirit dies when the breath of life is taken. Their spirit goes strictly to sleep, and their flesh fall to the ground. Okay? Now, when I say fall to the ground, I mean it gets prepared for the grave. It's dead. It don't move. So when the Father, when he's at the white throne, he's at the throne, he's ready for everybody just to stand, to come up, and he's going to be getting them from out of the sea, out of the grave. He's going to be giving, what is he doing? He's pulling everybody's spirit up. Everybody's spirit coming up. So he can tell you left or right. You see? Left or right. Nobody knows. Nobody can't say I'm 100% sure I'm in the Lamb Book of Life. And nobody can say I'm 100% sure that I'm in the lake of fire. But he say also, you will know them by their fruit. Meaning we are going to be doing things on the earth that's going to identify really where we're going to spend eternal. It really is. It's here to even reveal that to us. That's why I was saying knowledge is being poured out unto us. We got to take it, shalom. We got to take it and we have to hold dear to it, especially when the Holy Spirit is talking to us and dealing with us. Know the feeling. Know the feeling. Like today, me and my ex-husband was together. And I was saying, I was telling him, I feel in my spirit, I feel so sad. I said, I feel so sad in my spirit. He said, why? It's because all the things that he just pouring out in me and making me understand. And I feel so detached. I feel very detached to a world because it's like he's not letting me get by with nothing. See, he was explaining to me how today, and I was feeling sad because he said, you want for everybody, but I don't want for everybody. You want to do to help this one, you want to help that one, and you want me to bless you so you can help. But why should I bless them that don't serve me? But you want to help them so much. He was just trying to tell me those are what I want to do, and I have to understand I need to want what he wants, not be there to just think life is about helping, and no one is showing the respect nor the honor to receive the type of help that Father will give to me that I may give unto them. And he said, no, I'm not going to bless you so you can bless others. No, I'm not going to give to you so you can give to others. He said, throughout your time, you've done that all the time, and neglect yourself, because all your life you give. I was a young girl when my mother was saying, you will give your head if it wasn't detached. Because to me, it's just something about giving that's more important. And it also, when you like that, it also bring a little pride, because you don't really want no one to give, because you've been the giver since you can remember, and you're out there and you want to give, but you want also the Father to give you so you can help others that don't even care to know your Father. See, that's what he was saying. And I was feeling really sad because I know that to be true. When the Holy Spirit come to me and was be telling me stuff like that, and I'd be like, so I'm wrong in you. He said, yes, you are. Because you want me to bless who you want to bless. You want to see everybody blessed. You want to see everybody what you know they need. But they have to know to need me. Not you, but me. And as you give them me, he's talking about my family. Do they receive me? No. But why would I bless you to bless them and they haven't even received me? You see what I'm saying? So I was just like, well, where do we go from here, Father? Because it's starting to really get sad. It's starting to really get sad. And then I began to tell him about the weather. Well, maybe it's the weather is the reason why, because I know fall is coming and I love the fall, and I love what I'm feeling out here. But yet that sadness still, it weighed really heavy, even to the point when I got ready to come home. He said, you still feel that feeling? I said, yeah, it's still there. In spite of it all, it's still there. So I thank the Most High for weighing on my spirit to let me know life is not going to be like you feel that it should be because of who you are. You see? So what you're seeing is the reality of others not seeing what you see, or not feeling me like you know me, or not even wanting to know who I am. You see? And it's a lot to do with family, you see, and they got their eyes on you because they thinking, okay, if he bless her, and the Father said, don't you dare. And I remember when I was suing Walmart, and he told me, he said, okay, 3 times, $300,000. Do you all know I took a piece of paper and I wrote out $300,000 and spent it on the paper? Looked at it, I didn't see my name on there. And guess what? When the time come, when we went to court, the EEOC, when we went to court, the judge awarded $300,000. I was so happy because I thought it goes to me. Guess where it went to? EOCC, and not to me. And it was my case. I was the one sued. But the EOCC, they awarded the $300 for me being discriminated against. That's the sort of stuff that the Father is judging in the land of Babylon. That's why I tell y'all, don't be so stuck on stupid thinking that Yah is destroying Babylon because of the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. No, baby, we are all we are all scattered. The only one he's destroyed with this great wrath in Revelation 18 is Babylon. So you got to go back to the drawing board. And anybody have any questions? And let me ask you something. If you got answers, pull on up with them. You got questions or you want to share something? It's okay. That's what we are on here for. So Babylon, we need to get out of this thing thinking that Babylon is about us. Oh no, baby. No. Because even his choice, he said, come out of her, so that you won't receive her plagues. Who is her? And who is her you telling to come out? It's not like you even said it more than once. It's just like he just saying, come out of her, as if he said to somebody that ain't gonna come out. So I'm like looking at that. I'm like, saying, you should have said that 10, 15 times so they can get it. Oh, no. It was only said that once in Revelation. But what you have to do is you have to understand Revelation 18 has it's not detached to the Hebrew Israelites and the tribe of Judah to the point where this is all about us. You see, Babylon coming down is because of what they did to us. What will it look like for him to bring the whole Babylon down here as if he ain't the one that brought you over here, okay, for the judgment and the fierce of his anger brought you over here in this, as if he didn't see it all from beginning to the end. See, what y'all keep missing is we keep putting ourselves way above and beyond spirit and truth. We're putting ourselves in a fleshly realm and making it about us in the flesh. We need to think about really who is he dealing with? He dealing with the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah, but not as he destroyed Babylon to the point where Babylon is being destroyed because of you. No, baby. No. Babylon is being destroyed because of what heavens had seen that you all reject to see and deny. Just like I was telling you earlier, everything that he said is plainly seen. He said, Deborah, you can get on this devil platform and never speak another word. You can close down and never speak another word, because he said everything is clearly seen. It's nothing hidden. It's all in the opening. And reason why I say in Revelation chapter 10, if you really want to know the mystery, you're going to have to get that from the prophets. And that's what he's saying. Because I'm not coming to give you nothing. You got to go to the prophets of yesterday and the prophets of today to get that. Get what? The mystery. Because the mystery is the good part. It's the part that all the pastors and the bishops and the priests and the evangelists and the prophets and the false prophets and the false prophetess, the Maureen, the seer and the watchman, they are leaving out the mystery. Because the mystery comes to give you that great comfort in your spirit to know, when I can run with this. I can run with this. Knowing this, I can run with it. And then it gives you that mystery that opened up your understanding why you carry your light in the midst of a dark time. You see, that's what that is all about. It doesn't make prophets better than anyone, perfect than anyone. But what people don't understand, we are not perfect in the flesh. The true prophets We are perfect in the eyes of God in the spirit. You see? So, but just because we are perfect in the eyes of God, because he said, I shall hold you blameless. Just because we are perfect in the eyes of God doesn't mean we are perfect in the eyes of in the flesh. That means in the flesh, we do all kind of things that flesh put on us and cause us to do. Everything anybody else do. You get what I'm saying? Because he lives in us, he has the power to uphold our spirit from all the sin of our flesh. Do y'all see what I'm saying? So the flesh cannot allow, the flesh can do everything, but yet can't interfere with what the Holy Spirit is upholding in us, which is Yah's perfection. Because greater is he that is in our spirit than he that is in the world. So that means we have to have something great in us that's holding us up. But our flesh, no, it's not perfect. Nowhere near it. Okay, so the Father is in this day and time is pouring out a lot of knowledge. But from what I understand and what I'm getting as a prophetess, what he pouring out to me, the knowledge is spiritual. The knowledge is spiritual because Satan is pouring out his knowledge. Oh, I tell you another thing he told me. I don't know if I told this to you out. The Father was telling me, he said, you know, the tare and the wheat. He said, the tare outgrew the wheat. He said the tare outgrew the wheat. Wow. That's what they did. He said a lot of people wouldn't understand the parable where the servants came and told the owner that their master, wait a minute, you sold wheat. But when we woke up, overnight, tare has grown in the wheat. And then they began to ask him, do you want us to tie them up, gather them together and tie them up and do what? Go and throw their butts in the lake of fire. That's what the servants were saying. Do you want us to in a sense, pluck them up, tie them up, and throw them in the fire and burn them? You know what the Father said? Oh, no, you're not. Oh, no. Just let them there. Let them stay there. I do the separation. Why would the Father not allow in the parable the sower to, not the sower, the servants to just pluck all the tare out? Why? The tare has its purpose, like the wheat. They can't pluck it out, child. He didn't want his servants to pluck out the tare and tie them up and throw them in the fire. He said, leave them alone. Let them grow together. I do the separation. The separation is when you get to the mighty throne, the white throne of the Most High Yah. And he tell this spirit, you go here. This spirit, you go here. That's the separation he's talking about. That's why he set that up in a parable. Okay? So that he can give us an example of how heaven is going to end it all. It's going to assign this one here. Not assign. It's going to send this one here and send this one here. So he wouldn't let the servants do that. Let them just grow. He said, let them grow together. So last night he was explaining to me, he said, Deborah, you might not have known this, but the tare overgrew the wheat. I'm like, overgrown the wheat? He said, yeah, the tare has overgrown the wheat. So I had to separate the tare, not the tare, the wheat, in a way that I will already have them lined up where they need to be. That's where, again, Revelation chapter 7 comes. Seal minds. Why? Because now the tare has overgrown the wheat. So I want you to seal minds. Go seal the wheat. is what he's saying. Because the terror has overgrown. That means it has much more to where you can't even see the wheat. That's how bad it is out here in the eyes of the Most High Yah. Because when he was saying that to me, I was like, but wait a minute. That makes a lot of sense. Anybody have any questions? No, not yet. You can have answers also. So when he said that last night, I'm like, so much is going on, Father. And as days, D-A-Y, go by, you're learning. You're gaining so much knowledge in the spirit. So when he said, in the end days, knowledge shall be increased. Knowledge shall be increased. Now, what does he say in Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6? My people are destroyed. They are destroyed, Deborah. Not they might be. They are destroyed due to lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. What's going on with them lacking the knowledge? They reject knowledge. So if he's pouring out knowledge in the end days, just imagine how many are rejecting the knowledge. Now, if he waits to now to pour out knowledge in the end day, who is he pouring this knowledge out to? And what will be the purpose? It's because those that he already marked is still going to need knowledge to continue. Like Sister Deborah, you all might think that something wrong with me because I keep telling y'all, he teaching me this, he teaching me that. He knows I'm still in the race. See, I ain't a dead one. I'm a living one, just like you are. I'm still in the race. So as long as I'm in the race and he is allowing me to still use his long breath of life and the spirit he gave me therein, he still let me use that. Then still he continuing to pour out more knowledge in me each and every day. Anytime somebody tell you that the Father is speaking to them and sharing things and showing them things, you best bet you better hook up with that person, because that means that individual is trying to get you to see she's not telling you what the world is doing. She's telling you what the Father is saying to her. Just like this example about the wheat and the tare. If the tare has grown beyond the wheat, then wait a minute. What is that saying? The broad gate has taken over to where no one concerned about the narrow gate. Because the wheat can't even be seen because of the tare. He said it has overgrown the wheat. So I'm like, wow. It goes back to the narrow gate, and very few shall find. You see, very few shall find. And I was explaining to you all in an earlier video, he was telling me about how I thought, this is what he said to me. He said, you think that because you was told everything took place before the foundation of the world, when you was a young person, all the way up until now, so you feel you locked in, right? I say, that's pretty much what I speak about. You know, what took place before the foundation of the world is based on the way you start teaching me, you know, back then in the days. And to know that, that's the keys. That's what you call the keys to the kingdom, you guys, in case y'all didn't know that. And so when you give me those keys and I use those keys, I still hold dear to it. He said, but look, you will never have all the keys to the kingdom, Deborah. You will never know it all. Each time you use the keys, you're going to learn something different. Do you all, how many times have I said, the Father said we need to go back to Genesis, chapter 1 and chapter 2. Didn't I say that? And then he's going to pull up last night and say to me, he said, well, did you miss, you miss something? I said, I was like, miss what? He said, go back to Genesis. I said, oh, I got that master. In a sense, I've used the keys to open and unlock all the things that he has given me to know. He said, no, it's a never ending as long as you still in the race. There's going to always be something you can learn. Okay. So he went on to telling me about the Garden of Eden. He said, since you know already that everything took place before the foundation of the world, that's when I assigned my will to go this way, that way, this way, this way, right? I said, yeah. He said, what? How did you miss this? I said, miss what? I was confused, you guys. He said, look at Genesis chapter 2. And then I went to Genesis. I said, okay, chapter 2. And then he said, read chapter 9. And then he said, and then read chapter 16 and 17 in that same chapter. So I went to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. Out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight. Now watch this here. And good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden. So we got the tree of life in the midst of the garden, right? And the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So you got two special trees. One, we're going to say one is the tree of life. And if the tree of life is in the midst of the garden, the other tree is the opposite of life. This is what he was saying to me. I would say, I don't like this here. Not thinking he's trying to confuse me, but he's just trying to educate me. Watch this here. And he say, and do you see where it says, and the tree of knowledge and good and evil? So the tree of life was in the midst. What else was in the midst? The tree of knowledge and good and evil. He said, did you see that? I said, yeah. I was getting it. I was trying to understand. Then he said, now I want you to go back to that same chapter and go to verse 16 and 17. So I went to 16 and 17 and it said, and a higher commanded man saying, of every tree of the garden thy may eat freely eat. But he said in 17, but the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. For the day that thou eateth it, thou shalt truly die. Why? Because once you take of that tree, you are ushering in sin. Okay? So what is happening? He told me. He said, now do you see those? I'm like, yeah, I can see that, but I still couldn't get what he was trying to lead me to. But what he was saying is this. See, you would tell the people that everything took place before the foundation of the world. How about telling them this? Even eternal heaven and eternal lake of fire was before the foundation of the world. Before Adam and Eve could sin, there were two in the garden in the midst. There go that two. That's what he was sharing with me. There go that two. You always telling them there's always two, Deborah. There was two in the midst. Two to choose from. That's why he had to check. Listen to this, y'all. That's why he checked the serpent before he checked Adam and Eve. Why? Because the problem wasn't Adam and Eve. It was that other choice in the garden. Outside of the eternal life. The tree of life. So he checked that. Why? This is what he was telling me last night. He said, I had to check the serpent, that old Satan. Because I didn't want him to be bent up and bent down. Because Adam and Eve went to him. That leads to death. And usher his ways in to the earth. I wanted to check him. Because if I didn't check him first, he would have thought that he had misled Adam and Eve against him, against the Most High Yah. So the Most High checked him. Watch this here, y'all. Listen to how he checked Satan. So the serpent, he spoke to first. That devil, that Satan. He spoke and he said, you're going to have a seed and I'm going to have a seed. He called his seed woman seed, just like he called the earth, Mother Earth. He called wisdom her. So don't get bent because he said a woman seed. That's a spiritual seed. That's Yah seed. Okay? So he had to check Satan so he won't think that he overpowered the Most High Yah on the earth. It makes a lot of sense. Because Satan thought he had it going on. I got them to go on my side. 2 of them I got already. The first 2 he created, I stole them up quick. They on my side already. But see, what the Father was doing, he was checking him. How did he check him? He was checking him by telling him, look here, bro. I'm going to give you yours. And I'm going to have mine. And I'm going to put intimacy between you and mine. In the way of telling Satan, it ain't that you got Adam and Eve. I gave you Adam and Eve. I put that knowledge of good and evil right next to me. Just like he was when he was in heaven. Just because he drew 1/3 angels to lead him and to be on his side, he just thought, I hit the earth and woo, I got the first 2 that he created to join me. So the Father had to check him first. He didn't have no business checking Adam and Eve. All he wanted to let them know is that I have created this, but now I'm going to change a little bit of things. Because y'all, what you did, and you do this, but now I'm going to change some things. But the whole idea of Satan thought he done won already on the earth. The Father said, no, baby, let me check you. What you think you done won because you got the first man and the first woman to take of your tree in the midst. It ain't that they took of your tree in the midst. I put the tree there. How about that? You thought you ran something. You're looking stupid now, ain't you? I put the tree there. So look like I had a plan for the foundation of the world. Because had not I put the tree in the midst next to the tree of life, then they wouldn't take it. They wouldn't have took of your tree. But I put that there. How about that? Look like my plan is already working. So it ain't going to be your way. And matter of fact, the only reason why Adam and Eve went your way, let me check you again. I'm going to give you your seed, and I'm going to have my seed, and I'm going to put a division between you and mine. How about that? And that's so powerful. And I never, ever, ever could have come down to that until the Holy Spirit was teaching me that late last night. And I'm like, wow. It goes back to what I was telling you all. When we start to really understand this thing in spirit and truth, we'll understand the right hand of the Father. His mighty power got all this stuff in control. And then I began to feel good about how he was checking the serpent, Satan. It's because he's letting him know, you ain't ruling nothing. Who you think put the darn tree in the garden next to my tree? I did that. And just because they took yours over mine, let me check you again. Yours going to come down here. I'm going to send yours down here. And they're going to represent your seed. But mine's coming down. They're going to represent mine. And I'm going to have a division there to separate mine from yours. Is that not the wheat and the tare? You see? The two. You see what I'm saying? It's still the two. Is that not he that is born of the spirit and he that is born of the flesh? See, a lot of people keep telling you it's about the Messiah, accepting Yeshua HaMashiach, being born again. But wait a minute, let me roll you back up and roll you back down. When you learn from the Ruach that this thing started before the foundation of the world, you realize the Lamb wasn't slaughtered on earth. He was slaughtered in the heaven. So when did you get written in the Lamb Book of Life? From the heaven, not from the earth. See, that's why when he said, hold on to that prayer, like it is in the heaven, Father, let it be like that on the earth. You see, we don't really grip a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? So when he was sharing that with me, I said, oh, that's another good one. I said, oh, Father, that's a good one. You know what he did, y'all? Let me show you one more he backed me up in. And that was, now, I already knew this, but I didn't know it. I didn't know the level of what he was revealing to me. This is stuff he was saying to me last night, y'all. I'm talking about like 11, 12. I ain't going to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, see, you telling me all this stuff, and this stuff is just too good for me. And I was glad, y'all, because this is what he said. He said, now you already know who Abel was. I said, yeah, I already know who Abel was. Abel. I already know who he was. I knew he wasn't the seed of Adam and Eve. I knew that. All you have to do is listen to the Holy Spirit break every verse you read down. And once you keep quiet and you hear the Spirit teaching you it, you come to the fullness of what took place. He said, so let's boot up that 2 again. You always telling people about. He said, you know that 2 you was talking about? Let's get to Cain and Abel. One seed was Satan and one was mine. How about that? You see, he was just showing me how he had orchestrated it. Let me show y'all what I'm saying. He has orchestrated it way before the foundation of the world. When we trying to figure it out, he didn't already worked it out. And we walking around on the earth trying to justify and clarify and identify his capability of having that right hand. We don't even understand. In Genesis chapter 1, that's the power of the Father. That's his right hand he was talking to. He was talking to his right hand when he said, let. Because if it wasn't his right hand he was talking to, why is he saying let? He was talking to himself and himself of his own power. And because he constantly always telling me, Deborah, it's always all and many things is found in the old. In Genesis 1, 2. And you can find so much in Genesis 3. Because I did not understand why Adam, he said, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bones. I'm like, hold up, Father, y'all. Why he saying bones of my bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh? The earth don't belong to you. He took her from you and created her like he created you. All he took from you was a rib. Where are we going with that? I say, why is he lying? He said, you forget, Deborah. He came down here to be the son of he that is the liar of the earth, Satan. He said, how could you miss that? I'm like, wait a minute, Father, y'all. So when Eve said to the serpent that he said we are not to touch, nor eat, nor take up, nor touch, or nor eat. When I saw that lie, that's because they are the children of the father of lies. He said, how you like me now, Deborah? I was saying, Father, God, mine. You see, y'all, we're sitting here making things something that it never was. Because we refuse to just sit still and hear what the Most High Yah is saying. That's why he said, Deborah, you see that book? Study it. Study it to show thyself approved. I didn't tell you to study it to show YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Study it to show yourself. And if you do that, hey, I'm going to pull on up. And I'm going to help you rightly divide it by my Holy Spirit. Will I divide spirit and truth from the word in that book? And that's why people can't identify that the word is not a book. The word is Yah. The word was Yah. The word was with Yah. When was it with him? Before heaven and earth was created. So can we make the book the word? No, you can't. You can make it inspired by he that is the word, but you can't make it. That's how people have, that's how I would say the church have used a book to deceive the world. That's why you have one, you can have, say for instance, this King James Bible. Out of this King James Bible, you could have one King James Bible and you will have, let's say, a billion different denominations, not a billion, let me not exaggerate, a million different denomination or understanding. Why is that? When we coming from one book, it's because the book is not the word. It is the spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh that is the word that comes and abide with you while you studying to show yourself approved. Then he comes in you and work with you in how to divide the word of truth. But we never sat still long enough. We went to a lot of churches and a lot of synagogues and a lot of temples trying to force our life to hear things and to get things that soothes us and make us feel that, oh, this is okay, this is good. And me saying to you all the same thing I keep trying to tell you all, if he's going to take our time and teach me throughout day and night, morning, bathroom, toilet, washing dishes, mopping, anything, driving, walking, even when I'm talking, he's still yet teaching me. It's because he sees himself being able to teach someone that truly believes everything he says from my spirit. Oh, I believe everything he says without a doubt. I don't question it to the point where, oh, no, can't be. No, that's too deep. No. Because the way he laid out, it be making me look really dumb, which is a good thing. That shows you that I can be taught. But I can't afford to just be on these platforms listening to every voice in the land and taking it at face value. Now, this is the time where if you had any questions or even answers that you can step on in. So I just wanted to share that because I just think that it is worth running in my lane if I know and I have that type of creator constantly teaching me throughout the day. And I really understand why. It's because so many voices in the land, especially on these platforms. And I said, Father, what these people gonna do once they shut this thing down? They ain't gonna know what to do. They ain't gonna go, it's you talking about depressed. I'm gonna use the word depressed. I ain't gonna use stress like David used. I'm gonna use the word depressed. These people gonna be off the chain trying to figure out what I'm gonna do now. Oh, I wish I would have said this. Oh, I wish I would have taught this. Oh, I wish I would have gave them this revelation. Oh, I wish I would have gave more wisdom and knowledge and spiritual understanding. Oh, I wish I would have taught this message. Oh, that's what they're gonna be doing. And it's gonna drive them crazy. Why? Because the things that they had a chance to do, they did not. And that is speak to the people in the way that the Spirit of God is teaching you, not the way that you and yours, and this man said he's a pastor, this one said he's a bishop, this one said he's a priest, are telling you, but you have been up under the true teacher, the Holy Spirit. So have anybody been taught anything new, been revealed anything outside of what you already, or have you had any dreams, or have you had any visions? There was a time in my life where I could really interpret dreams. I haven't done it in a minute, but it used to be a time I could, and I had a couple. I think it was two people that were also on my YouTube, and they dream. I was like, wait a minute now, y'all, you having 6 and 7 dreams a day? Seemed like all of them are saying the same thing. It was when they were uh, during the pandemic, and were really panicking because they didn't really know what was going to be the next step after that, and they thought everybody was going to go into camps and FEMA, and there's going to be people who's going to start being zombies, and the military. Oh, a lot of them had dreamed about the military is coming for them and putting them in the FEMA camp. Um, and not to say that they were saying it in a way that it was like they was touching base with me, say 5 or 6 times a day regarding dreams and vision, until I explained to them, if the spirit of the Most High is on you that heavy regarding visions and dreams, uh, I start to question them about the spiritual realm of life. What are you doing? And how is your life? And how are things going? And their everyday life didn't match up with all the dreams and vision that the Father wanted to pour out in them, and that they were saying He was pouring out in them. But your life represents something totally different. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying, like, okay, well, okay, if He's giving you all of these visions and all these dreams, I want you to measure them. See what life you're living, and what make Him give you these type of dreams and allowing you to live this type of life. You see what I'm saying? So they pretty much winged away with all the dreams and the vision, and then we were just dealing with them in their lives. And they start to get, oh wow, I ain't never seen nothing like that. And that has to do with where people are gripping spirit and truth, and taking on the Ruach HaKodesh, and not really have Him, and not really are rooted in spirit, and they just claiming to be, because of the things they are experiencing in life. And then, I mean, it was less than 9 months, and it was the opposite, total opposite of anything righteous. That's how you really got to be very careful in how one is claiming their spiritual journey. Okay. And it's very easy to discern if there is a spiritual journey and a calling on your life to have a position and to represent Him in the position in which He has called you. And then you could see where you have stepped into unholy calling, and it has to, somewhere along the line, not be the opposite. Okay, it's just like me saying, okay, I'm a prophetess in the wilderness, but yet I'm over here at the strip club stripping. You get what I'm saying? That's how deep it is. That's the deepness of the job. That's how you wonder what make people claim to be these things, and yet on the other end, they're swinging poles. And I'm not just saying at the strip bar, at the strip club, but they're swinging on all kind of rope for Satan. But yet they're on the other end, and they're teaching people, and they're sharing these dreams and these visions. And I'm like, wait a minute now. You know what you are? I really believe if I were to do something like that, I wouldn't live. I don't think He'll let me live past 3 months. Mm-mm. He said, before I let you bring that to the temple, I'll take your butt out of here. Play with me if you want. Play with me. Play with me if you want. Take your tail out of here. He won't let me do it. So I'm just saying, I know this enough about him and I. that he ain't gonna let me get away with doing things the opposite of what he stand for. He ain't gonna let me get away with it. I know that for a fact. And you know what? I wouldn't even try him to see. I wouldn't try him to see. He's been too good. He's been too good. He's been too good. Too good for me to go into that realm of trying him. I wouldn't even think to. But back to Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel was also showing you the cycle of the twos. You notice, like I said, in the garden, there were twos, okay? The tree of life in the midst and the tree of good and evil. Okay, the knowledge of good and evil. And then as time go on, everything was always wrapped into twos. Okay, the firstborn was Cain, the seed of the serpent. And when I say the seed of the serpent, you all have to understand, if you let these males teach this thing, they're going to teach everything into a realm of making females look horrible as much as possible, not understanding it says what. Let me show you what it says. And I don't care how you master it and show them, they're not gonna focus on that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna show you an example right here in Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1, and we're gonna go to verse 2. In Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1, it says, Adam knew Eve. Right there, it's letting you know Adam knew Eve. You see, plain as day, letting you know they laid down and they had sex. Okay, Adam knew Eve, his wife. It's letting you know Adam had sex with Eve, his wife. Why is it saying to you his wife? Why? Why do it has to be known that it is his wife when we knew it already was his wife? Watch this here. But it's saying his wife. And then it says, and she conceived. It's telling you how she conceived. They laid down and he knew her, had sex with her, his own wife, and she conceived. Okay? And bare Cain and said, I got a man from Yah. You see? She even announced she has a man from Yah. Now, right there, this is the serpent seed. You couldn't say that that was the serpent seed until the serpent showed up. And as you continue to read and you continue to see Cain's attitude toward who? Somebody who ain't done nothing to him, the Most High Yah. Why did you come out like that? He said, why are you like that? And trying to get him to break it down. All you have to do is do this. What's the deal? He's trying to leave something for you and I. That Cain came here as the serpent seed. The serpent came to take out something, the opposite seed of himself. So what happened? So in verse 2, it says, and she again buried his brother Abel. You don't see where Adam knew Eve a second time, his wife, and conceived. Look at the word conceived. And bare Cain. You don't see where Eve announced, I have gotten a man from Yah. No, she never said anything. It says she began, and she again buried his brother. So even though she had his brother, that was a seed, a spiritual seed of the Most High Yah. That's why Abel already knew how to give back to the Most High Yah, because he came from Yah. Cain didn't know how to give freely and to give back because he wasn't the seed of Yah. Y'all get what I'm saying? So therefore, here, if you had to have a male to teach that, they'll wear that thing out to be the opposite of everything I just said. And here it is, just plainly seen. The difference, there's a big difference in verse 1 as there is in 2. But the way that Yah orchestrated it was so you can catch it in the spirit realm, that it was intended to be different. So you can catch the spiritual seed being separate from the flesh seed. From the serpent seed. Did not he say he's going to bring intimacy between the two seeds? You see? We got to take him at what he said. Not so much as what people tell us. So here again, showing you the twos being separated. Just like he told Satan in the garden. I'm going to put something between there. You're going to get yours and I'm going to have mine. Could Satan have seeds without Yah giving them to him? No, he can't. Satan can't have seed without Yah giving him the seed. Let's say that example. You remember there was a sower who sowed the seeds? You notice that the sower who sowed the seeds sowed, example was 4 sets of seeds. 4 sets. 3 sets went all the wrong way. And only 1 set was rooted and grew up to represent what? 2. The 3 represent the serpent seed. And the 1 represent what? The spiritual seed. The woman seed, as the Father has it in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15. The woman seed represents Yah's spiritual seed. So why was it 4 sets that the sower sowed? Because when I first heard about the sower sowing the seed, and that's why Yah had to check me, because I said, wait a minute, why was this sower sowing the seed? If you knew how to sow, why was you sowing them in the wrong place? The Father said, Deborah, they was intentionally placed in the wrong place. You know I taught you what took place before the foundation of the world. The sower knew exactly what he was doing. There was 4 sets. 3 of them were sold in the wrong place. And I said, well, why would that sower do that? He should know better. He said, because that was what he was ordered to do. Heavens gave him the order. And only the seed that went into soil produced. There go 3 sets, 2 sets. The 3, and I'm going to explain what the 3 meant. The 3 and the 1, there was 4. Only 3 represents the serpent seed, but the 1 represents the spiritual seed. Why? Because he explained 2 things, which is gate. The gates, but he broke them in 2s. 1 is the narrow gate and 1 is the broad gate. Okay? Notice the 3 sets were sown in areas where it wasn't going to represent the Most High God. So they were the seeds of the serpent. Okay? But the seed that was placed in the soil that represents the Most High Yah brought forth and produced for the Most High Yah. It's showing you that the broad gate is going to have many that leads to Satan. Satan gate is many, but the gate that leads to righteous is few. And that's why it's going to be hard to find because it's not given to everybody to find. Heavens had already orchestrated the narrow gate and the broad gate that leads the way. So what else do the broad gate and the narrow gate represent? Two gates. Okay, just one going in the narrow, and the three going in the broad. When you deal with the seed, the parable of the seeds that the sower sowed. Okay, 3 sets didn't go to produce because they represent the serpent seed. So what happens is we in life, we're trying to make everybody think that everybody in the house of Israel, in the tribe of Judah, are the seed. They are the seed, you guys, but you have to separate the seed. And the way you separate the seeds by twos, okay? You separate them by two in the flesh, and you separate them by two in the spirit. So they're going to not only be separated in the flesh by twos, they're going to be separated in the spirit by twos, okay? But this is why the house of Israel was as the sand of the sea and the stars in the sky, because they were broke out into twos. What do you mean, Deborah? You remember I was telling you, he was telling me last night late that the tare and the wheat, and how the tare has overgrown the wheat to where you can't see the wheat. This is why. This is why. The tare represents the seed of Satan. In this day, in this day, Satan got a large number. That's why the gate is broad and many go in. You see? See, it's everything has been so orchestrated from heaven to where everything is plainly seen if people would take out the time and really get to know he that is greater in all things. He has all power. He is real. He exists. He lives in Sister Deborah. He might live in you, but you would never know him until you know him. So that's why he was saying last night about the tare and the wheat. The tare has overgrown the wheat to where you can't even see the wheat. So he separated the wheat. That's where Revelation 7 came in and sealed them. So what happened is, he told me days ago about, this was probably longer than the days. Probably, yeah, it has been longer, because he was telling me about something I did not know. You remember how I was trying to get you all to understand Deuteronomy 28? I kept saying Deuteronomy 28, Deuteronomy 28, Deuteronomy 28 is the end game, y'all. It's going to be destroyed. We're going to be destroyed. We're going to be destroyed. So I gave it destroy in mental. He said not just mental, but physical as well. That's why I kept seeing it where he was talking about crushed until you are destroyed. I'm like, wait a minute now. We're destroyed here already. He said, yeah, but it's going to be physical, mental for some, but mental and physical to the great number. Let me say that again. Mentally for the ones that sealed, but mental and physical destroyed for those who are going to be left here. That's why he had to take me another route. He say, now, you know how I teach you spirit and truth. That's how you have to see the house of Israel being sealed. 12,000 of each tribe. I said, it makes sense now. Now I get it. Those tribes, the 12,000 are sealed because the truth of the matter, he says, the ones that's in Deuteronomy 28 and the words that, because it was confusing because I said, now why does he keep saying they're gonna be destroyed as if they're gonna be killed? No, they're gonna be gone. He said the ones that's gonna be gone is the one he gonna take out. The ones who gonna be destroyed is gonna be the ones that's gone and die. That make more sense to Sister Deborah, because I said, Father, why would you have it in 8 to 9 times in the end game of Deuteronomy 28 to inform? Now watch this, what he did. He said that was put in there so they'll understand the end of this curse leads to death. That's the end game. And he put it in there just as plain that you and I could see. But because knowledge is going to be increased for them to see it, it'll be the thing that they reject 100%. So that's why Sister Deborah couldn't understand, why ain't they teaching that thing? Why ain't the prophets and the prophets? Tis, if they say that they are. Why ain't those who said that they are teachers of the Ruach HaKodesh, why ain't they teaching that? He said, that's why. They can't bring themselves to speak as bold as you speak, to tell the people through spirit and truth that they are going to be destroyed. They're going to be destroyed both ways, mentally and physical. And those that's going to be mentally destroyed, I'm going to take them out. That's why they are sealed. So nothing else can come upon them because they belong to me. And you know why that's so righteous, y'all? Let me explain to y'all. The reason why that is so righteous is we was thinking. Now listen to this. I'm not thinking like this, y'all. I'm just trying to put myself with we, so we can come into oneness and understand this. We were thinking that the whole house of Israel and the tribe of Judah is going to be ushered out of this land. That's what we were thinking. And with our thinking, because we thought that the Father owed this. Oh no, you owe this. You owe this to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. Because if you don't do it, you are a liar. You told Abraham and Isaac and Jacob that you was going to give them a land and it's going to be the promised land. Then the Father backed that thing up and backed that thing down. He said, guess what, Deborah? I already fulfilled that. Why didn't the Hebrew Israelite and why didn't the men who said we are ruler, we are leader, we are king, we are this, we are that, we are this, we are that, shut your mouth. You got to learn it from us. Ask your husband at home. It don't make sense. They're the least and the last that's going to teach spirit and truth on this earth to their nation. The men are. So what happens? He say, now right there, they didn't even respect. Now, I'm gonna include myself with this, y'all. I had no idea that he had already. No. Let me say it like this here. I felt. Now this is what I did. I knew he had fulfilled the promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but I thought he was going to fulfill it again. That's what I thought. But it don't make sense to fulfill. Why do he have to answer to the flesh of men? He don't answer to us. We bent up and we bent down thinking he have to answer to us. So what happened? He fulfilled what he promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that is that Jacob's seed shall inherit the promised land. And the Father said to me, Deborah, you know I did. I already fulfilled that. I said, you sure did? I said, who took them over? He said, go back. I said, Joshua. He was one of the prophets that took them over. He said, yeah. And you know what, Deborah? This is what the Father was telling me, y'all. That's why I say to y'all, I'm a learner. I know I sound like I'm a speaker and I know it all, but let me tell you something. I'm more of a learner. And that's why he takes his time to teach me, because I trust in everything he teaches me. I sit my tail down, shut up, and I listen. From the inner man do I listen. So I can learn something. Because only one I'm going to be able to learn is from him. So why not listen to him? And if he's greater in me than he is in the world, why not listen to him that is greater, who ruled the world, who created it? Okay, so this is what he said. He said, now, even though I fulfilled it, the promise already, I already fulfilled that, Deborah. I did give them what I said I was going to give them. The promised land, flowing with milk and honey. They had it. But this is what kind of made me sad, child. This is what made me sad. Is when he went on to telling me, he said, do you know about my stretched out hand? I mean, my stretched out arm. I said, do I know it? Oh, boy, that's powerful. He said, and you know my right hand. I said, oh, it's on. He said, Deborah, go back and read how they conquered the land. I conquered it with my right hand and my stretched out arm. I conquered all of that land that I promised Abraham, Isaac. And it was flowing with milk and honey. And I gave it unto them. And how they end up with it, they didn't have to fight for nothing. My stretched out arm and my right hand did all the work. And they stand today. They stand today, Deborah, as if I have not fulfilled the promise to Abraham. See, Deborah, you went with me and Abraham. I say, I sure did, because Abraham was scared. He said, you went up there with me and Abraham. And what he meaning is, when he's teaching me, I go there. I go to where he's teaching me. And I stand back and say, what's wrong with Abraham? What you scared for? You know, that's in my mind. I'm saying that. What you scared for? So the vision that he took Abraham in, when he was telling Abraham that his seed was going to be great, like unto the stars in the skies, if he can count them, and the sand of the sea, and how he's going to he's going to promise them, he's going to give unto his seed. See, what y'all didn't know was, because Abraham was in the spirit, the Most High had told him, you are already what? You are already counted into the righteousness. He told Abraham that. So whether Abraham believed or not, the way men teach and women teach about Abraham believing is out of the correct will of the Father. Because they have to go back to the vision where Abraham was in and see that this man wasn't in his natural being. He was in the spirit. Praise the Lord, y'all. And why he was in the spirit, the Father began to tell him what all he was going to do for him and give Sarah and him. And then tell him about his seed. But what y'all didn't know, and many others that teach on these devil platforms don't care to know, because they love teaching Satan information, which is the world. And they try to bump in the Most High Yah with the world so you can think they know something about your Yah. But let me tell you. So I was like up there and I was like, well, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with Abraham? Because I'm up there. I'm like, what's wrong with him? You brought him in the vision, in the spirit realm. Why he scared? And then the Father had to tell him, the Father had to tell Abraham, hold up, bro, what's wrong with you? The Father, let me see if I can kind of give you. Here it is. In Genesis 15, listen to this, you guys. Listen to this. After these things, the word of Yah. The word of Yah. Do you think this book was what he was talking about? Do y'all really believe this was what he was talking about when it says, and the word of Yah? Watch this here. Let's go to Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. After these things, the word of Yah came unto Abraham. Do y'all know what the word is? It's Yah. He is the word. He came unto Abraham. See, this book had never been created when he brought Abraham in the vision. So when the word came to Abraham, it wasn't this book. That's the deception. Okay, now listen to what he says. And the word of Yah came unto Abraham in which way? Do anyone see that? He came to Abraham in a vision, y'all. In a vision, it takes you out of the natural realm and bring you into a spiritual realm. Okay? So now Abraham is not in his flesh. He's in his spirit, dealing with the spirit of the Most High Yah. Now listen to what happened. And what did the Father say? Fear not. Why would Yah tell Abraham to fear not if Abraham wasn't fearing? Because Abraham was scared. Okay? And Abraham, he said, fear not, Abraham. I am. I love that word, I am. Ahaya, the shield and thy exceedingly great reward am I. See, he's telling Abraham, breaking that thing down to him in the vision. So now Abraham is not in the natural, he's in a vision. So the Most High was telling this to Abraham, and he began to tell him, drop down to verse 16. He told him about, no, just drop down to verse 5. Verse 5 said, and he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward the heavens and tell the stars if thou be able to number them. What he said to Abraham, Abraham, you're not in the natural, baby. You are in the spiritual realm. Grip. How about taking those stars in verse, what verse was that? Verse 5. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward the heavens and tell the stars if I be able to number them. Impossible. So he just showing him, you're not in your natural realm, bro. Grip. Okay, now watch this here. If I be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. Verse 6. And he believed in Yah. Now, do you think he believed in his flesh, or did he believe in his spirit? It was his spirit he believed, because he was in the spiritual realm believing. That's the only way the Father could get him to understand what he was saying in that moment. Now watch this here. Verse 6, Genesis chapter 15 and verse 6. And he believed in the Lord, and he believed in Yah, and he counted it to him. See, Abraham wasn't righteous because he all righteous. What did it say? And he counted it to him for righteousness. Abraham, you in there. You in there already, bro. You in there. Now, what people don't understand, and he said unto him, verse 7, I am Ahia that brought thee out of, what's that? I don't know how you, of Chaldeans to give thee this land to inherit it. Verse 8. And he said, Lord, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? Now, Abraham received all this in the vision. What the Father is talking about, that he is already counted righteous. And right in Genesis 15 and verse 15, he said, 15 and verse 5, Genesis chapter 15 and verse 5, and he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward the heavens and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall your seed. Let him know his seed will be in great numbers. Okay, now watch this here. What people did not understand, when he counted Abraham in for righteousness, that means that he was already, he was counted into the spiritual righteousness already. He already counted it as righteousness. That's when Abraham was already righteous before he came down here. He was already included in the Most High's righteousness. So he was what? The seed of the woman, which is the seed, the spiritual seed of Yah. Now watch this here. As you continue, you see in Genesis 15, Abraham goes into a deep sleep, another deep sleep. Okay? And this was very confusing to me. Very confusing. But this is what he told him to do. And in verse 11, and when the fowls came down upon the carcass, Abraham drove them away. Verse 12, we still in 15, Genesis 15. And when the sun, now listen to this, y'all, listen to this. And when the sun was gone down. Now we know that he's now in a different vision. He's not in the vision now, y'all. Listen to this. Verse, where am I? Verse 12. Genesis chapter 15 and verse 12. And when the sun was gone down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham. Okay, watch this here. And lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. Verse 13. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. You see that? Verse 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. Afterwards shall they come out with great substance. So after the house of Israel comes out, that's when the fullness of the judgment would reign. Okay. Now, right here, what took place, Abraham now is not in the vision. You're going to get yourself in trouble, Deborah. You're going to be in trouble. Abraham now is not in that vision he was in at first. Now he's in listen to what it says, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. Listen to what all that's happening to Abraham, just to tell him about his seed. There's a two difference, y'all. There go to two again. I would ask y'all in the live chat, but I'm not going to put you through that. Right then, there's two seeds because there were really two promises. Okay. One seed was mentioned to be counted in the righteousness where Abraham is righteous. Okay. That was in Genesis 15. Okay. Something happened in that same chapter where he went into a deep sleep that fell upon him. And lo, a horror of great darkness was upon him. And that's when the Father began to tell him in that deep sleep, when the great darkness fell upon him, the second promise. What you all don't understand, there was two promises, but one. There was two promises, but one. Abraham was already counted in Genesis chapter 15 in the vision. He was already counted into righteousness. Okay. And with that righteousness, also Abraham had seeds. Okay. In this second one, he was in a deep sleep, and a great horror of darkness fell upon him. So the two different, why is a great darkness fell upon him? Horror of darkness. Because now it's finna tell him the promise of the flesh. The first promise was of the spirit. You in there. Okay. This is what you all don't understand. That promise in Genesis 15 and verse 1 all the way down to 6 was the promise of the seed in the spirit. When you get to Genesis chapter 15 and verse 10 all the way down to verse 14, that is the seed of the flesh. There go the two. So what y'all don't understand is in Yah, which is in the heavens, he has already orchestrated two sets of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob seeds. From Abraham was the promise given. And it fell all the way down to what? His seed to who? Jacob. Okay. The difference between Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they were the spiritual seed, y'all. Jacob brought forth the spiritual seed, hallelujah, hallelujah, and the flesh seed. That's why when you see in 15, you see the Most High dealing with Abraham in one, the vision, in the spirit. And then in another part in the same chapter, he's dealing with him in a deep sleep, a horror of darkness. Because one represents spirit and one represents flesh. So there's two promises, y'all. One for the spirit and one for the flesh. So what has happened? He had already fulfilled the promise for the flesh. Praise the mighty Yah. Those that he have sealed with the seal of the Most High Yah in Revelation 7 are those who are sealed of the Spirit. They are the promise of the Spirit. That's why Abraham, Isaac will be there. And this would be the 12 gates. Because those are the 12 tribes in the heavens, in the New Jerusalem. So when you're thinking, when we get so swollen head to where they're not connected, Yah, it's not going to let you connect to no righteousness until you connect to his prophets. No righteousness is you are entitled to until you have in that fivefold ministry of what you call yours flesh, you the head, and you created your own body. But if Yah's servants, the prophets, are not detached to that, you just selling on a seat. Okay? And see, they don't know what I'm telling you all. That's why I say you all don't really realize how blessed you all to hear what I'm saying. And that's what I have to say because I'm still in the race. I'm still in my lane and I'm still in the race. That means I'm still in life on the earth. Okay? So he's trying to explain to you all there were two promises. One was in the spirit when he told him, you are the righteous. And then he told him to look up in the sky. He look up into what? No, let's say what he said. He said, look toward the heavens and tell the stars, if I be able to count them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. Okay, now watch this here. And 6, and he believed in Yah. Don't notice he believed in the spirit. He wasn't in the flesh, nor was he in a dream. He was in the spirit. And he counted him. See, he already counted him it to be him for righteous. See, Abraham didn't understand in the vision because he was so afraid, really. It tells you that it was fearful. So the reason why he really didn't understand, the moment he came out the vision, he went over there to Hagar. He listened to Sarah. After y'all had told him all of that, that's why I'm trying to get y'all to understand. We put too much emphasis on these men roles in these Bibles. Put more emphasis on that. How about that? If you ever do your study, you'll find out the right hand and the stretched out arm is in this biblical instructions and direction guide more than Abraham. How about that? How about that? You would never know that until this prophet shared that mystery with you. Let's say it again. The Father's right hand and his stretched out arm is in this instructions and directions more than you will see Abraham. See? So therefore, you have to get out of trying to make everything about the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah, because here he splits the both up, made them out of two promises. One gonna be for the spirit and one gonna be for the flesh. Now, that's why he was in a horror of darkness, in a dream of great darkness was upon him, because now he finna deal with him regarding the flesh. And he went on to telling them that they're gonna go into in a land. His seed shall go into be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them. Yah said that, not the heathens, not the Gentiles. Yah said it to Abraham thousands of years ago. But right today, in the year 2023, no man is willing to come up and pull up and bow down to the fact that the Father had said that to Abraham way before Deuteronomy 28. From what was it at? In the beginning. See how far they get away, but then they want you to ride that horse called Torah. Ride your tail somewhere and sit down. Torah your tail somewhere and sit down, because you don't know nothing about Torah. Okay, so here there was two promises. Okay, so one was for the flesh and one was for the spirit. Joshua pulled up and led the children of Israel to the promised land. It has been fulfilled. What Yah is about to do is take them to the spiritual promised land. And those that are born of the spirit, he's going to take them to the promised land. Okay? So while y'all packing y'all bags and getting ready to be holy than thou, and ain't even been holy on this where you at, but then thinking you're gonna be able to pack your bags and get ready so you can get on out of here. Father he has already measured your heart. He know who your spirit is. That's why he said, Deborah, keep going back. Because the more you go back, the more you gonna stick focus and stick to it. That heavens has already orchestrated everybody to be here and there. So where they want to say that they are, let them continue to fake until they think they're going to make it, because it ain't going to be the way they say it is. I have already ordered everything to go according to my will. Not you as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. My will. And I think it's so wrong for us Negroes, the tribe of Judah, to be in the land of our captives, still lying, as if we don't see truth sitting right before us. The promised land was met and fulfilled. The next promised land is the spiritual promise of the spiritual land. That's why we can't sit here and say, oh, it's over here in Jerusalem. They're in our land. They taking this and they taking that. You can't say that. Because in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9, and Revelation chapter 3 and verse 9, it does not say those that are in the land of Jerusalem in Israel, or the fake Jews, or the synagogue of Satan. He never called the place out. So that leads you to understand that we need to shut our ugly mouth and let Yah be who he is and do what he know he's going to do. And stop trying to make everybody think that we know him all that well. We all up on him that well to where we know his next and his every move. We're a long ways. The ones that he's taking up out of here, the 12,000 of each tribes, are the spiritual seed. of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Nope, it's not the natural. You already had your chance. You cut up from the floor. Because to me, myself, I couldn't see that no way. Because here we are in the land of our captives, and we've been here 400 plus years. And I'm a prophet in the wilderness, 62 years old, and have never heard nobody teach spirit and truth. But yet, I have to look at the Father and say, wait a minute, now hold up, what's going on there? What is this? I'm still living, Father. What's going on? And that's why he shares so much with me, because I'm willing to hear what he says and take him at 100. And leave all this trash on these platforms and in this world, pretending and faking it and making it and all this stuff. Leave them where they are. Because that's the purpose also of the days of Noah and the day of Lot. Everybody role play all the way up until it was the end. Nobody, but he always knew they still weren't going to make it in. How about that? How about that? You see? Did he have Noah to go out there? Yes. It wasn't going. Did he have the two angels to come to take Lot out? But it wasn't going to change the people. I'm coming down. I'm going to bring this down, Deborah. You see? But not here in this land of our captive, we haven't even saluted the curse itself. But we're thinking he's coming to get us. And we haven't had respect for the fact that what we've gone through is what he put on us because our stiff-necked rebellion and disobedience, our idling God. Right now today, 99.9 on this devil platform have idol gods. They idol the people on these platforms. So they are idling their gods. So it's a good reason why he said in Revelation 7, mark mines. So all these plagues won't come upon mines. Mark mines. I'm going to get them out of here. You see? There's some things about to happen. So Sister Deborah, I hope each and every last one of you got something out of it. And I am out. And you need to really go back over this video and write stuff down, because I'm going to tell you something. This was what you call good food for the spirit. Stuff you ain't going to hear every place. And you ain't going to hear it again. So Sister Deborah says, shalom and shalom.